Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Tonight we're going to be reacting to the trade deadline. The Knicks did not make a move. I'm not surprised. I personally don't think the team should have. I would have loved Jonas Valanciunas, but the Knicks just don't have the financial flexibility to be able to add to the roster right now. And that actually carries into the buyout market. Like, for example, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a huge advantage on us because we're currently operating above the first apron, which means that if you look at Malcolm Brogdon, Bruce Brown, Ben Simmons, and Bojan Bogdanovic, who are the top buyout potential candidates right now, the Knicks cannot sign them as a taxpayer, which means that one roster spot open the Knicks have probably isn't going to come from the buyout market because those guys are going to sign for more money with other teams. Whereas even though the Knicks playing in New York, Brunson and Cat and these guys and the culture we've established would be great, but the money's going to talk here. So I think, honestly, the Knicks, and I've been saying this for a while now, I believe personally that final roster spot will go to TJ Warren. Somebody informed me in the comment section that the cash considerations that the Knicks got in the Bucks trade for Jericho Sims, you can't use that in the buyout market. So it's looking like the Knicks might as well just use that for TJ Warren because he's going to be costly too, considering he's a very good scorer, efficient. He's played in big games. He's been crushing it in the G League. So why not? Especially as well because the Knicks don't need help in the front court. They've got Karl-Anthony Towns, Errol Hook-Porty, who's emerged, and then Mitchell Robinson coming back. I think where the help is needed is on the wing. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby, we're talking about first, second, and third in minutes played per game this season, and in total minutes as well. Well, now that OG's hurt, I mean, probably not the case for him anymore, but up until that point, he had been. OG had played in every game. So Warren can come in, can shoot the ball, can play make, can rebound. At the very least, can give those guys a chance to rest. And come playoff time, that's going to be huge. We also saw Alec Burks as well step in against the Pacers and knock down some shots. I think TJ Warren can do the same thing. That's why I was so excited when the Knicks actually brought him in for essentially a tryout. It was just because, TJ Warren at the end of your bench, it doesn't get much better than that. I mean, I get, 31, 32 to this point, but he's still a bucket. And he's been putting on some high scoring displays down in the G League over there in Westchester too. So I'm pleased with that. But yeah, it's not very realistic that the Knicks are going to be able to get one of those top guys. They'd have to be absolutely wanting to come to New York and take in lower money to do that. It's just not going to happen. I mean, the Cavs right now have the best record in the East, the second best record in the NBA, and they've got more money. So I think that the top guy is going to go there. But that's fine because I don't think one of those guys truly would be the difference for the Knicks. I think TJ Warren can offer just as much for cheaper. So I think the Knicks should go that route as well. Because right now, the rotation, who knows what it will look like when Mitch comes back. But right now, Brunson, Mikal, Hart, Anunoby, Cat, that's going to be the starting lineup no matter what. And then off the bench, Cameron Payne, Miles McBride, Precious Achiuwa, those three are locks to get minutes. Mitchell Robinson, if healthy, would be 4, which leaves one more spot. But the question is, does Tibbs go to Shamet? In the playoffs, I highly doubt it. Does Tibbs even use a 10-man rotation? Like, I highly doubt it. So, TJ Warren would basically just be a regular season guy to take some of the load off, and then in the playoffs, if there's injuries or the Knicks just sort of need somebody with fresh legs to come in and get hot like we saw with Alec Burks, then I think that could be an option. But, Tibbs just does not play very many guys. Like, I think Achiuwa, Payne, and McBride are the only 3 players right now off of the bench that legitimately would play, so that would be an 8-man rotation, and then Mitch would be 9. We just don't normally see Tibbs go to 9-man rotations in the playoffs. It's always just been a couple of guys off of the bench, but that's the beauty of this Knicks roster versus ones in previous seasons is that the Knicks have got an elite starting 5, and then they've also got a very good bench that they trust. And normally it had been the Knicks got a great bench, the starting 5s are right, or vice versa, but both are definitely very, very serviceable. But Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, I mean, this team is going to go where they do. These guys have got to be the best players, especially with just how competitive the East is. I mean, you got to deal with the Boston Celtics, who won the championship last year. You got to deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, those are 2 historically good offensive teams, and we know that the Celtics can lock down defensively, too. You don't win a championship without having a top defense. They were top 5 in defense. They were actually top 3 in defense last season, and they beat us 3-1 in the regular season. They beat us opening night. So the Knicks play them on Saturday. that's going to be a big test. But without Mitchell Robinson and OG, you can't take too much away from that game. You'd love to win it, but if you don't win it, you understand that it really doesn't matter. I mean, the Celtics could beat us in all 4 games this season. It wouldn't really change the fact that the Knicks could still beat them in the playoffs. Who really knows? But Delon Wright is on this roster. I highly doubt we'll see any of him unless there's an injury. I mean, he is 6'5", about 185. Can play make. I don't know about his defense, but he's just someone that gives you depth. But the Knicks need more than just depth. They need somebody that can come in and actually help them win. And I think TJ Warren can do that. I'm actually pretty excited about the potential, opportunity of him coming to the actual roster. I mean, I feel like he would have been here much sooner. It's just he's not a cheap option. That's why the Knicks went out and got that cash to just sort of have some for the last remaining spot, because it's not going to be cheap, man. I mean, you got to realize, like, why would a guy take let's just say hypothetically, $2 million if he can get $5 million? Like, that's a lot of money just leave on the table to come play for the Knicks, and his role would practically be the same too. So I just don't mind at all these guys in the buyout market wanting to go elsewhere. But for the Knicks, they realize that they got some cash, and whoever that final roster spot is, I mean, it's going to be a good player. It might not exactly be TJ Warren, but it's going to be some high level player. But I do think that, honestly, just someone who can shoot the basketball that can defend is going to be the thing, because the Knicks, they don't have a lack of shooting. Like, they've got Landry Shamet, like McBride can shoot, Campaign's having a career year shooting, certainly Brunson and Cat can shoot the ball, Mikal and OG can shoot the ball. So the Knicks have shooters. They just need somebody who could score and could pass and just do a little bit of everything. But yeah, really outside of that though, I just wanted to do an update on the trade deadline. I did not expect the Knicks to make a move at the deadline. I didn't want them to make a move at the deadline. Normally I do want the Knicks to make a move, but I mean, there would have been absolutely no reason to. I mean, currently the team is 34-17. They're just 2 games behind the Celtics. The Celtics do play tonight. They could lose that, and the Knicks all of a sudden would be, just a half game behind, and then they play them on Saturday. They got a chance to cut that to a half a game, which would be crazy, but Celtics probably won't lose tonight, and then the Knicks will be to that point 2.5 games behind, but they could still get a game and a half on Saturday. But just protecting your home court, beating the Celtics is going to be huge. The Knicks haven't exactly had that statement win. Like, they've beaten the Grizzlies and the Rockets and the Nuggets. Like, they've beaten some good teams, but the Celtics and the Cavs are the 2 teams you want to beat. And this is the first time too where the Knicks have been able to build something and then play them. Like, the Celtics opening night, completely new team. The Cavaliers was early on. The Knicks still were up double digits in that game despite that. That's why I'm not nervous about the Cavs, because the Cavs have been together for years, and all of a sudden the Knicks are a whole new team, and literally we should have won that game. So I'm not too concerned with the Cavs, especially with Mitchell Robinson. He's going to dominate that matchup going up against Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. But the Celtics is the team that the Knicks got to prove that they can compete with, because the reason why the Knicks got Cat and they got Mikal and re-signed OG to the biggest contract in Knicks history is to compete specifically with the Celtics. Because when a team wins a championship, they win 65 games and they go through the playoffs fairly easily. You got to realize that they're doing something right. And the Knicks, they saw, hey, Porzingis, that's sort of the Knicks Cat, and then Jaylen Brown, Mikal Bridges, right? I'm not saying they exactly play alike, but they're very similar players. Like, you got Porzingis and Cat can stretch the floor, and they can protect the rim. And then you got Brown and Mikal, just that 3-and-D ability too. Mikal, I mean, he's playing well right now. And a lot of people kind of doubted him early on. You got to give this team time too. But the biggest thing is just realizing that if the Knicks don't win it all this year, I mean, they're going to be around for the next couple of seasons. They're going to have a chance. But yeah, I'm out, guys. Peace.